How's it going, everyone? Justice Smith here. Welcome to the Timeout Podcast. I am the Director of Recruiting and the Managing Editor here at Touchdown Alabama. As always, I'm joined by former Alabama wide receiver, national champion, one of the best trainers inside the state of Alabama, Mike McCoy. How's it going today, Mike?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Doing well, man. No complaints, man. Glad to be here, brother.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a couple of different topics that we want to discuss on this episode. The first topic being the importance of off-season training, because you know that off-season training and the way that these guys progress will have a major impact on the way that the Crimson Tide look this upcoming season. And I have a couple of guys who I want to highlight in terms of who could make a huge jump compared to last season and to next season based on what they do during the offseason. One guy is Jalen Bachway, of course, with him making the transition from cornerback to wide receiver. That is a big transition. To see what he will be able to do during the offseason will basically determine if he will even have an opportunity to get on the field this upcoming season. Of course, Ryan Williams had a lot of great things happen with him during his freshman season. But as the season progressed, we saw him do something that we didn't see during the early part of the season. We saw the drop passes. We saw some inconsistency in his game. And with you being a trainer, what should these guys be doing right now, and what are they doing right now, and how important is the off-season training, I guess, individually? Because I know not all the time you're with an Alabama staff member. It's all depends on what you want to do. I know something that you say all the time. I remember being in your gym is their career. It's up to them to make
It's only your
that
career.
decision. So how important is this time?
Man, you mentioned two great names. Mbakwe. I don't know if you had the pleasure of watching this boy in high school. Look, this boy carved Thompson High School by himself like a turkey on national TV. So I thought he was a receiver before I knew he had committed to Alabama as a DB. I liked him on the offensive side of the ball. Him and Ryan Williams together. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, you got your hands full. But to answer your question, you was like, what are the key things? Right now, most programs it has changed over the last 2 to 3 years because I don't feel like coaches are really maximizing their voices like they need to or should, because you're paying these players now. You can't enforce the rules like you want to. It's different. It's pros now. But it's different coming from an 18-year-old millionaire than I got a 28-year-old millionaire with kids and a wife at home. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing my advice to these boys now, outside of the weight room, are you working on flexibility? Are you working on your craft? Are you working on your speed? If the only time these boys are working out is at Alabama, they will be in bad shape. That's just, if you're only good as what I do. But now granted, Bama has the top of the top. They are the cream of the crop as far as their strength staff is concerned. Baloo, I know he does a great job. Jeff Allen with the recovery they have down there. But in order to have an edge, you have to do stuff that nobody's willing to do. And that's across the board. One thing I can always say about Nick Saban is you weren't going to beat him up there and you weren't going to stay up there late as him. He was just different. And I think if you want to be great, those are the intangibles that you have to have. But you have to be smart about it. Are you eating the right stuff? I use this in my gym all the time. If you're good to your car going to be good to you. If you're good to your body will be good to you. You only get one. It has to last you for the rest of your life. So are you taking care of your body? But to name those two, it's tough to be that young and be rock stars, man, because you have the world at your feet. It's tough, man. I call it two things. You either get the king's disease or you get the God complex. And when you don't have a circle of peers or people holding you accountable, man, you start to sip and drink a little bit of that Kool-Aid that you're hearing. Nick Saban call it rat poison. I call it king's disease or the God complex, because you're invincible. Man, I'm 19. I got the world at my fingertips, man. I'm balling out here. So what tends to happen is you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, somebody gonna take your spot. And the wolf is climbing the mountain is usually hungrier than the one at the top. So you always got to have an X on your back, and you have to create narratives in your head, stories in your head to keep you on your game. And you just got to be the villain, man, at all times. You can never get comfortable because the moment you get comfortable, you lose your job. I am a prime example of that. It has happened to me in practice. I can promise you. And the comeback is way harder when you're in that doghouse than when you don't have to be. So to sum it up, I think these boys got to get, if they are with outside trainers outside of the facility, make sure that they're doing quality work. Make sure that they have a recipe, not just big names, but they actually have done the work and it makes sense. I see a lot of these kids spending 98% of the time that they're only going to do, they're, they spend 98% of the time doing shit that they're going to do 2% of the game. All that dancing off the line, all that hot sauce, show me a Pro Bowl receiver doing that. I see a whole bunch of D line work. What about the double teams? You know what I'm saying? What about the stunts? Let me see you sit down and watch film. That's the stuff that we don't see. And I think that's what we're missing. Just rolling the ball out and these boys figuring it out.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you work with so many kids and so many guys who are hoping to go to the NFL, so many college guys. And we all know how important it is to have, like you said, that outside training because everybody else has it. Is everywhere from the NFL, college. Everyone has a personal trainer who they are going to get more work in because you have to do that now because everybody else is doing it. And if you want to compete, you have to do that outside of your game. And of course, with you working with so many guys as well, and with you being a former collegiate receiver, was there ever a guy that you saw or a former teammate or a guy you probably heard of that had like a big transformation during the offseason where you saw this guy come in and next year you was like, whoa, who is that?
I can't say. I can honestly say majority of the guys that were. Well, I can tell you what's inside of here. Um, let me see. Let me call some names. Let me think. Let me think. I'll tell you, Greg McElroy. I remember, like, Greg doesn't get the credit that he deserves. A lot of people don't really understand. I mean, he's a great game manager. Greg had went to a camp over the summer, man, but when he came back, body didn't change, but just his confidence changed. Um, there's two type of people in this world. Either they're adding to you or they're subtracting to you. I just make sure that these kids are dealing with somebody that's going to be added value. They're an asset, not a liability. You know what I'm saying? Like, your family can be an asset or a liability. And a lot of these trainers can be assets of liabilities. I don't like kids to go off script and go against what they coach. Don't do it because I told you to do it. You ain't playing for me. You playing for that man who calling them plays when your number is called. You know what I'm saying? So, but I can honestly say when Greg McElroy, I don't know where he ended up going. I know he went to a quarterback coach. And just from his sophomore to his junior campaign, man, he was just night and day, man. But he continued to get better. But that's one. But majority of the kids that I got here, man, a lot of the college guys that I kid, they come for a reason. They come to fix something. Before Jeremiah had left or Kobe left, man, we worked on the intangibles, the small things, the stuff that the coaches don't get a chance to get. It's 105 guys on the team. It's only five coaches, five strength coaches. You know what I'm saying? They got families too, so it's a lot. So my job is just to serve. So whenever I get one of them, hey man, we sit down and we come up with a game plan. But like you said, man, I have to turn some of these parents away, bro. I got a parent right now. His son is 7 years old. You would think he getting ready to go play for the Steelers right now, man. And I'm just like, dude, just let him be a kid. Put him around some older boys that's gonna kick his ass and keep him busy, and it's gonna work itself out. Don't coddle, don't baby. But it's not the end of the world. Will they change his position? He's 7, he 8. Come on,
Yeah,
man. The boy don't even know how to brush his teeth good.
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But I think to be, I joke with it at times, but I be seeing these NIL deals, and I be like, dang, I need to go buy my son a football. But you're looking at these NIL deals, these guys are getting at 17, 18 years old, which is really, really crazy.